Is that live? Can they see us now?
I hope so. I'll go on our website.
Hello? Should I announce that this is happening? Shall I start talking?
Just keep it going until I know that it's working.
Okay. If you are getting this,
Tweet you.
Yeah, tweet us. This is our test to see if this is actually working accurately.
You really hope it is.
Oh, I should look in there and not at myself.
Really? Oh, someone said you look so beautiful, so
Okay.
they can see you.
Oh, they can see me, but can you hear me? Anyway, I think I'll begin, shall I, just in case?
Yes. Go for it.
It seems that we are live, and let me just start with all the, kind of setting up of this, really. I met Pablo, who designed this official site for me and for you and for himself. And we decided to join forces, and because I'm someone who can't really deal with social media myself, social networking, whatever, but still want to have some kind of relationship with fans, we decided that he would do all of the legwork and I would come in fleetingly and do some questions and answers, and always inform him when something exciting is happening, and so it works in that way. So this is we are launching Pablo's, and I occasionally feature the official website. And I have a long list of official words here, official wording. So it's www.billiepiperofficial.com and facebook.com /Billie Piper Official. A lot of official. Twitter.com /Billie Piper. And I think that probably addresses the official nature of this evening. I also want to say hello to people in Australia and America, because I've heard through Pablo, my source, that you guys are around and have got up in the night to have a chat. So thank you. And then to everyone in the UK, hello also, and all over. Who knows who's watching? So I'm going to take a chance to just start answering these questions now. And Pablo's been collecting them all week, so let me start. Okay. I'm sorry if I pronounce your names wrong, because I'm not very good at that. Victoria Gleason, I feel quite confident that that's real and accurate. More recently, I think I've preferred working on stage. Because it's happening all the time. The moments, never change, and you're kind of creating a story and a journey that doesn't end after 3 minutes, and so it's not frustrating in a way. It feels like you've got a real quest, and that you can see it through. And just my patience for acting on camera has lessened, I think. But I still really, really enjoy it. But definitely, I miss doing theatre, and even though it's really full on and really taxing, I think at the moment it's something I probably prefer. But that might change. And actually, I'm saying it because I'm not doing it at the moment. So maybe I am a bit deluded about what it is. I have just rose-tinted fond memories of it, but actually it's a real slog, and I know that much. But yes, I hope that answers your question. Naomi Stark. Well, fortunately, we had a lot of, when we were preparing for the effect, we had lots of research and useful people coming in and discussing the workings of the mind through whatever field they kind of specialised in. John Joe actually had an MRI scan. All of us were kind of, they facilitated, they made it easy for us to kind of access people who specialise in that field. So we would do lots of discussions about the, drug trialing. In fact, we went to a place outside of town where we actually witnessed people, drug trialing, and it was. We chatted with the people who ran the place, we chatted with the people who worked there, and we didn't chat with the people who were trialing because I don't know, we just didn't, we just watched them, it's very strange. So we did lots of that, and I think that really helped us all put ourselves very firmly in that place. Yeah, there was a lot of work there. Souffle Girl at Piper's Smile. My husband has told me about you. I think you're on a lot. That's what he says. And he, what's my favourite show? I think all of the shows I've done have been really rewarding and fun for different reasons, and they've all happened at an odd time in my life, and they've kind of been like mini milestones actually, and so I kind of love them all in equal measures and feel like they have their own place and time, and so I'm not sure that I ever have a favourite. I love Doctor Who obviously because it was the beginning of my acting career, and the place where I met some of my dearest friends, and the place that kind of built my confidence, and the show itself was so epic, and it was like jumping off a cliff doing that show all the time, and so I have a real passion for it. And then I love Secret Diary because it's just so mad and so, weird, the things we'd end up doing on a daily basis, and the situations we find ourselves in, and it had huge comedic value. And we all behaved appallingly, and it was, a wonderful crew, and so, they all have their merits and their place in my heart. So there really isn't a favourite. I'm not really big on favourites. There's quite a lot of questions about my favourite this and that, and I'm someone who kind of dips in and out of everything, really. Okay. At Save the Day at Poppy Holmes _DW. Do I announce that? Yes. This is how Twitter savvy I am. Chocolate or sweets? Chocolate. It's just so easy for me to answer that. Chocolate is far more satisfying and just all round an experience. Sweets are weak for losers. No, they're not. I mean, my family loves sweets. Anyway. Let me see. Brad Hill at Brad Hill 95 Hill. I would love to feature in one of Lawrence's music videos. I have asked him about 5 times, and I have also heard him asking other actresses in my company. So I'm really hoping that I get a shot at it one day. But fear he wants someone else. And I kind of do feature in his songs, I think. Unfortunately, lots of things that happen in our relationships kind of heavily dominate his music. I mean, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. I hope that that's true, and he's not writing about some other lover. Okay. Sorry, I'm just finding these. David Puckridge. I think this is a great question because I'm a massive coffee fan, and I'm yet to find the best place in London to make coffee. I feel, in my humble opinion, what I know of coffee shops in London, nowadays it's all about convenience, so you'll endlessly find me in some awful chain on the school run or something. But, that aside, I think Monmouth Coffee is amazing. And they have one in, if you're interested, they have one in Covent Garden, opposite the Covent Garden Hotel, and they also have one in Borough Market. And you can actually buy it in certain kind of delis, high-end delis, I think, and it's delicious. And they only give you one size, so they don't kind of. There aren't many things to choose from, and then that can sometimes be a relief in a coffee shop, I think. When you're bamboozled with all of those options, you kind of need a coffee to, decide what you want in your next one. It's that kind of thing. And I also obviously have to give a big shout out to the Legal Cafe, who frequently serve me coffee because it's also really good. And they don't make you feel bad when you ask for that extra shot, like some places, who are always like, you want 3, and it feels judgmental. Anyway, they don't do that there. So if you're someone who feels sensitive about the fact that you like too much espresso in your coffee, go there because they really don't care. They almost urge you to drink more. Okay, so that's a lot of chat coffee there. Celine L at Lily the Tigress. There's a lovely question. I would really like my children to. The 2 qualities I'd like my children to have are, I'd like them to have many qualities, but I think the most important would be forgiveness, which I think is one of the hardest things ever to achieve. And I think grace, they're kind of quite similar things. And I think with those 2 things bubbling away inside of them, they're pretty much gold. So that's what I'm going to urge them to achieve. Personally, I think those are 2 good ones. Olivia Washington at Phoenix Song 4. Okay, advice for aspiring actors. I would say that before anything else, actually, just live hard and see things frequently. That sounds so rubbish. Put yourself out there, and don't make acting a sport, because the minute you do that, it's just horribly competitive, and you can't get beyond the fact that it's you versus another actor. And I think that actually really hijacks any good storytelling, and also it's crippling to your confidence, because you won't always get the roles that you want to get. You'll quite frequently lose out to them, and making enemies of people in your head is so unhelpful to your process of an actor. But it's good to, as much as you kind of have to hone your craft and be diligent with your text and go to the gym. I don't know about that myself. You should live hard and enjoy yourself as much as you can. I think that's it. I think that's all the advice I have. I could say get an agent, but I think that's pretty obvious. There we are with that. Eric's hot sauce. Okay, how do I put it? At KHallyJune _ KHallyJune. I'm really sorry if I've like just totally ruined that for you. Underscore and then like a colon or something. Anyway, what I think something that Doctor Who taught me was really, really big, strong work ethic, because it's a beast of a show to film. And the first year I was in it pretty much solidly, and we worked 11-day fortnights, and we worked a lot at night, which is something I did hate about Doctor Who. If I'm honest, the level of night shoots is just taxing, and it's quite frequently in the rain or the snow in winter in Wales. Anyway, I think it really, every job after that seemed relatively breezy in terms of workload, and I think that put me in really good stead and built me in a good way, and I'm grateful for that, even though it was hardcore. Yeah, I think it makes you, it kind of makes you strong, really. Let me see here. I've got some questions here, you see. Okay, Christina Hayward. What do you do? Okay, things I do to prepare for an audition. Depending on what the job is I'm auditioning for, I'll usually find something quite specific. But one thing I always have to do myself is that I have to know the words really well, because I'm useless at trying to kind of reaching for words that aren't somehow cemented in my head, and then also present a character and try and do it honestly. So for me, one of the only things that I do consistently is make sure I know what I'm saying. And sometimes that's really hard because they don't let you know, weeks in advance. And sometimes, and quite frequently, they make you do, like 3 or 4 scenes of massive kind of monologues, and it's always quite tricky. But I think if you're doing emotional stuff, it's really useful to kind of just, kind of spend the morning thinking about things that make you feel a bit dreary, and kind of try and harbour those emotions and not let them out until minutes before your audition, or actually in the audition room. Kind of sitting on emotions is quite useful. And then actually just accepting that most of it's out of your control, and the stars aligned, or the stars will align, or they won't, and that's, I think, after that there's not much you can do. I kind of feel I feel so funny, like it feels like I feel like I'm doing this for myself. It's so weird. I've never done one of these looking down the camera and answering things before, and doing it in this way. So I feel like I'm just making it up. It's quite bizarre, which would be strange. Anyway, hello. Manya at _funny_dreamer. I like this question. Yes, there is something about Doctor Who that I don't like. I think I started that conversation a couple of minutes ago. I don't like the 9 months of filming in the rain. Don't. And the level of words you have to learn. Oh, it's gone off. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I mean that, and night shoots. I've kind of already addressed that. I've had my own, but those really are the only things that I find really hard work about it. And I actually think when I was in it, I used to find that you couldn't have a conversation with anyone without it being leaning towards a chat about Doctor Who, and that could become quite testing, especially if you're just in a foul mood or, you know, just wanting some silence. But I don't really have to deal with that anymore, which is nice. Except for tonight, no. Okay. Razor Sharp at Big Bad Wolf 50. I would like to act with Lawrence again one day. We worked together, and that's how we met on a play called Treats, like 7 years ago or something. And I really enjoyed working with him because I thought he was so funny and so unlike anyone I'd ever met as an actor and as a person, and I still think that. And his approach to acting is really funny and rare. So it would be nice to work with him again, but I worry that we would make it domestic because, you know, we do that. Yeah, I'd like the support of having him around actually, and also he does bring a lot of the funny and a lot of light to moments when I'm trying to be quite intense, which is always good. It's good to have a personality when you're acting, and I think that fails a lot of people sometimes because it seems really intense and serious, which it is at times. But he will certainly relieve any of that tension with something, you know, totally inappropriate mostly. Okay, Dibby at Dibby in the Sky. It didn't take any persuading at all, really, to do to take on Rose again, because it's always such a gift, and I love the people, and the scripts are always so brilliant, and their new interpretation of Rose made it really appealing, and John Hurt made it really appealing. Hang on, I've got a question here from Lawrence. Is it the top one? Yeah. Okay. Loza Fox. Okay, so he's my husband. An evening with me or a KFC. Ooh, that's tough. I'd have to say an evening with you, love, but it'd be a really tough call. Maybe you and a big bucket of greasy chicken. No. I don't absolutely not. I'm not a massive KFC fan. You should know that. Anyway, so I choose you, my love, over fast food any day. He's going to be really disappointed with that answer. Okay. Sorry for these little empty links or interludes. I don't know, but this is natural, you know. This is real. This is what's happening. Matt Minter. Excuse me. You once said that I'd love to live in Australia. Now, I would love to come back to Australia because I haven't been there for ages. And I've recently been asked to maybe pop over, like you can pop over to Australia, you know, for 2 weeks to do a conference out there, which I'd love to do, but I don't know how we're going to make it work with the family. But I would really hope if I went back there that I would do more of the kind of, you know, the outback. Yeah. Because I did a fair bit of the, you know, the cities and stuff, and I would like to do something a bit more exploratory in the height of summer. Danny Burney. I can definitely say that I get more satisfaction from my current profession just because it was what I always wanted to do and it was all I ever thought about as a child, and I feel sated when I'm doing it. Like it's what I it just makes much more sense than the music. But that's not to do the music down really, because I learned so much from that, and it was also a fun and mad time of my life. But I think if I'm talking about what gives me most satisfaction, it would be what I'm doing now, because it's where I feel most comfortable. It's where I feel most myself, and I think it's where I'm strongest, really. But you feel free to disagree. Maybe I'm mumbling too much. Maybe I should project.
You're not on stage at the moment.
I know. Hannah Harper. Yes, I would love to do more. I would love to do a play on Broadway. It's actually my biggest dream to do a play on Broadway. I've been trying to make it happen for a while, but no such luck. Every play I do, I'm like, can we take it to Broadway? It's my biggest dream to do a play in New York, to live there for, a summer, or a winter, or any time of the year. Just to be there and to be doing a play there would be crazy. I'd feel really like I'd hit jackpot with that gig. So I hope it will happen. Sarah Louise Greenwood. I would like to. I kind of wish I had a chance to travel space and time with Matt, even though I wouldn't really describe him. I suppose he is a past Doctor now, isn't he? Because he's left and there's someone now in his place. So yes, I regret that I haven't had that opportunity, or I kind of just did, but not enough. Really, it was just not enough. And we didn't. I don't even think we spoke in it, did we? No, we didn't have any connection at all during that period. But I think we probably laugh a lot. So I'm sad that I can't work with him in that world. But who knows? Tasha Elisa. Oh, I really hope I've said that right. I haven't considered writing like volume 2 to my autobiography, because I kind of feel like there's part of me that wishes I hadn't done that, really, because I was so young, and I had some things to say, but not a great deal, and I think actually it's been, I've met a lot of people who've read the book and they seem to be kind of happy that it exists, but I feel like on reflection it's kind of strange to be so candid about certain things that have happened in your life, and maybe that's just me kind of getting to a place where I want to withdraw a bit. She says doing a live thing. Oh, that's embarrassing, but I don't do these that often, and there's a reason for that, because I feel like there's parts of your life that are sacred, and they ought to remain that way, and I feel like discussing my family in that way, I don't know that was quite necessary, but in a kind of, in terms of talking to people about my experiences or my problems, I feel like it's right in that respect, but my gosh, you're just spraying. But yeah, so no is the answer. There will not be a volume 2. I don't think. I can't imagine it. But I'm glad that you liked it, the first one. the only one. Okay. Alice Frost. I think I cried when I found out I got the role of Rose Tyler, because I really I just thought it was a great character, and just this feisty, front-footed, scally, and I felt really like it just felt right. It felt like it was something that had to be, in my mind anyway. And also I was so excited about working with Christopher Eccleston, and I couldn't believe that we were going to bring back this iconic show. And Russell T Davies was like, I'd never met anyone like him, and I thought he was just an incredible spirit, and just an absolute source of life and joy. And that was just in the audition room. I met him a couple of times, and I've never felt more encouraged in my life. And that he maintained that as well throughout the filming of it. And even today, like, he sent me a lovely email last night, and Julie Gardner too. I was all getting excited about the 50th, and I love him. I just love him. So I wanted to be around him a lot. I knew that. So anyway, I was, and also it's one of those things that goes on and on and on. So you just kind of want it to, you just want to get it, basically. And so I cried when I heard. Yeah. Let me think. Katerina Malkovich. My favourite episode from Doctor Who would have to be the episode, I forget all of the names, sorry, the episode with my dad, because I think that had a real kind of human, domestic heart to it, and I loved working with Sean Dingwall and Hating the 80s again, and I just felt like it was a lovely, emotional story, and one I felt more connected to than any of the others, really. Let me see here. Oh, Amelia at Leah5445. What's my favourite song? I'm really into the current number one. I think it's still number one. I can't even remember the name of it. It's just something that comes on in the car so frequently, and my son loves it. I can't remember the name of it. That's awful. But I also love Lord. I think she's great. I love her album. I mean, I love the single, but I've just bought the album and I'm really feeling her. I think she's so great. And I've got a real passion for chasing status again. Yeah, I felt that last single I felt deeply charged by. So and I also really like the new Jake Bugg song as well. I think he's so great. I think there's some really good music out at the moment, actually, and those are a few, and that's the kind of stuff I'm listening to at the moment. Jake Henderson at Jake Heaven 98. the most important thing in my life is obviously really my family. It just comes above and beyond everything else. And it's such a relief to feel like that. It's a real gift to feel like that. So that's that. Georgie Harrop. Yeah, I do change my hair colour quite frequently, and that's why it's all falling out in my bed. I really don't take care of my hair, but my hairdresser, Sibby, she's amazing with it. So she does it in such a way that makes it, maintains some level of health. Yeah, I have it dye. I've had it dyed recently for work. I always have it dyed for jobs, but I'm always quite up for having it dyed because I think it's just a fun thing to do. I think blonde is something that is basically me as a person. I feel like it totally represents me, my personality. But I am feeling this colour now, which is kind of I wonder if you can see it. It's kind of like red, chocolate, mahogany. I am liking this at the moment. I'm kind of thinking it might stay around for some time, but it washes out very quickly. But yeah, I had black hair once, which I used to dye myself. It's very strange. That wasn't something that worked on me. Patricia Rose Mirult. How do you say that, Pablo?
Which one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down.
Muriel? I just made that
up. Sorry to deeply offend you if we pronounce your name wrong.
Still Patricia Rose.
Patricia Rose. What would I say to the 16-year-old Billie? Like, go back to bed or go back to school? Or what were you thinking? Why are you so impatient? Why are you so controlling? It wouldn't be that nice. I think I would have a lot of issues with my 16-year-old self. And I just think it's kind of mad that I did all those things at 16 years old. But maybe that's because I now have children and I can't ever imagine letting them out the front door on their own. So maybe that's why I feel so protective of my 16-year-old person. But it's done now, and it's all alright, so it doesn't really matter either way. But I would definitely say just relax. There's no urgency. It's all doable. Charlie Liam Dungate. Yeah, I do have a lot of similarities with Rose, I think. Someone who's kind of curious. Someone who's happy to kind of run off and leave their family. Someone who doesn't feel bad about that. Yeah, someone who is kind of... she's a bit of a hothead, Rose, I think. She's a bit emotional. That's me. Prefers the company of men, I guess. Although that's changing. Happy to hang out with an old dude. Totally. There are a lot of similarities. Okay. Mary Messenger, yes, I do want to do loads of conventions in the US. I think it would be a perfect kind of reason to get over there, and I could take it as a travelling opportunity, which I'd love. And I'm trying to work that out now for next year to do that, to travel around and do some conventions. I think Matt's out there like cleaning up and doing like 10 or something wild. So I'm hoping to get in on a few of those myself. So maybe I'll see you there, Mary Messenger. It's a great name. Sharon Drost. Wow, my ears look red. Someone's talking about me. Is that what they say?
Well, yeah, there's.
They're gonna blow. They're gonna blow off my head. Okay. Yes, it was. Sorry, it was hard to leave Doctor Who. Really, really hard. And I kind of made the decision before I'd spent 9 months with David Tennant, and so I didn't realise how much I'd love him. And so it made it even harder that I'd kind of made this decision without knowing how friendly we were going to become and how much fun it was to work with him and how much of an incredible actor he was and how great it was to see him doing that all the time. It was really, really hard. I basically just cried all the time. And did they have a special party for me? Oh, God, I should really remember that. I think there was just like the end of the series party, which all ended up back in my hotel room because I stayed in a hotel for the duration of the second series. And I think it probably ended at 5 a.m. St David's Hotel. You know, as those parties often do. It was fun. And my best friend was there, and yeah, it was great. It was a good way to go out. Sorry for the ums. Have you got some there that we should ask as well, Pablo?
Yes.
Oh no.
I can have some for you now.
Hang on. It's okay. In your own time. Torhida at James McAvoy's. The best movie I've watched this year was Broken, which is a film by Rufus Norris. It was out last year, I think, but I only saw it this year, and I kind of want to say it's one of the best films I've ever seen. I found it so moving, like proper belly sobs, and just a beautifully crafted film, and just brilliantly acted, and the whole thing by and large was it just felt really good to watch, and it felt like a gift. And so I urge you to get it on DVD if you want something to watch. It's really brilliant, but it's not easy going. It's not an easy ride, but anyway, he's amazing as well. Sorry, I've so lost my place. Sophie Jones at Sophie24601. I would love to do Shakespearean play, and I'm kind of discussing it now very loosely for some point next year. I'm in two minds about how I'm not confident about it because I haven't done Shakespeare since drama school, and as much as I love it, I feel very anxious about it, so it would take a lot of work, but it's not something that I'm not considering. But it might also be something that never actually materialises. So, I don't know.
Anyone in particular you would like to work with in the
future? Who would I like to work with in the future? Oh, these questions. Who's that from?
Bin the TARDIS.
Bin the TARDIS? That sounds negative. Bin the TARDIS. Who would I like to work with? Gosh, who would I like to work with? I would love to work with Robert De Niro. because I think he is just such a lovely actor and just seems like he would be a laugh. And wouldn't it just be amazing to work opposite him? I mean, that's really setting my sights. I mean, that's beyond. That's a fantasy. That's what that is. But I do love him, and I just think he's great. I'd also like to work with other funny people like Louis C.K. and you know, the Sarah Silvermans of the world. You know, acting acting comics. But I think that also they might be slightly disappointing in real life because often they can just be a bit weird, can't they? But maybe they will surprise me if I ever get that opportunity. God, I'm really rambling. Is this one I should do?
Oh, sorry, that's sorry.
Oh, Beth. No. Is Beth your friend? Like,
she's the girl that was with me every time.
Yeah.
Well, not every time, but most times.
Beth, that's not. Can I swear? No.
Probably that's not.
No, it's not. It's not a bad question. But it is one of those questions that I can't really answer with any conviction, really, because every play I've done has been I've loved. I mean, I found Treats really hard work, and the fact that I was falling in love with someone made it all the more bearable. But I found it as a process terrifying because I'd never done the West End before, and I just felt like I was jumping into the deep end, and it wasn't really working all the time, and you could definitely feel the stress of everyone. So in terms of the job, that was maybe one of my least favourite theatre jobs. The fact that I met my husband is obviously a gift, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I think the effect has an enormous place in my heart because it's so good and I cared about it so much, and I love the writer, and I just felt like I was working amongst amazing people. It was a real stellar company. And then I loved Reasons to Be Pretty because I love Michael Attenborough and I love Neil LaBute, and I think the play is hilarious and moving and the cast were great. But oh God, I'm just like, gosh, it's embarrassing. But in short, I don't have a favourite. But it's not a bad question. It's just that I'm really bad at answering it, like everything else. Okay, hang on, there's some here.
Would you consider writing your own script? From Hannah Swan.
Yes, Hannah Swan. I like writing a lot, and I'm hoping that I can actually finish some of my writing at some point. So I won't discuss it too thoroughly with you now, just in case I jinx it. But yeah, I love writing, and yeah, I do. Andy Blake, that's a good question. I think that I do agree with Stephen Moffat. I think actors do own their characters, just maybe not initially as much as they can in those early days of getting the role, earning the role, and then convincing the writer that your and the director that your spin on it is a worthy spin, and that you're going to enhance what's already there, I guess. And then that character then, I'm gonna have an orange here now. That character, do you mind if I have an orange? Do you want an orange, Pab?
No,
that character then does start to belong to you in a way, I guess, because you're playing it so often, and your instincts kind of merge with the character's instincts, and you kind of, in a very strange way, become the same thing. So that's why it's great when producers and directors mostly get on side with your interpretation, your telling of the story, and welcome your thoughts. And yeah, I think you often find actors in a small battle about what they think is a true representation of their character, or if it's something they think their character just wouldn't say, and you get people saying that because sometimes things that the writers write are just too hard and you can't make them sound real, so you'll use that as an excuse. But most good actors will just, they will find a way to help you understand that you have the best intentions with your choices. But that's a good question. Oh, there's some more here. Was that the second page? So we just...
Sorry, I should have stapled.
No. Georgie Harrop. There's a few things I'd like to do if I wasn't an actor. I just saw that. I wouldn't... Oh, gosh. I'd actually quite like to be a makeup artist. I love putting makeup on people. And I think I'm quite good at it. Well, my impression today is not really a good example of my artistry, but so I'd like to do that. Yeah, I mean that's the one thing that I often fantasize about. Something that's kind of less unpredictable than our professions. Okay. Joanne Lee. I think I'm still friends with Chris Marshall. I don't. It's not the kind of friendship whereby we see or correspond that often. But the last time I saw him, in fact, the last time I saw him was when I was filming Doctor Who. I didn't actually see him. He was moving into the bedroom that I was leaving at the St David's Hotel. So I left him a little note in there. Because I got wind of him taking over my room. And then he called me and left a message, and I didn't call him back. So it's debatable as to whether we're friends anymore. But I'm really bad at returning calls.
My dad wants to know if you would direct TV drama.
I'd like to direct something. I just don't think I'm there in terms of my confidence. I would rather write something than direct something. But Matt Smith directed something recently for Sky, and he really, really enjoyed it. And so if he can do it, I think he's amazing. So, but I think being a director is an incredible task because you have no life outside of directing when you're directing something. You're working before you turn up at work. You're working through the night when you finish work. It must be like having a family of hundreds, having to answer everybody's questions all the time with massive kind of urgency and hysteria and time constraints. The whole thing just seems incredibly stressful. So it doesn't look that appealing to me, really, unless it was done in such a way that was kind of really back foot and relaxing, which means it would never get done. I guess we should wrap up now, shouldn't we? Do I need to remind people?
Yes,
Let
you
me
do.
remind you. I should just be able to remember this.
It'll be live now, like after this.
Huh?
The website will be live after this.
Oh, okay. It will be live. It will be live. You can access it the whole time. This was its big hurrah into the world of, the internet. So let me remind you, and I have to look down because I'm not Dermot O'Leary. I'm just not well versed in stuff like this. So it's www.billypiperofficial.com, facebook.com/billypiperofficial, twitter.com/billypiper. I'm not on it as much as I ought to be, and I will really only be letting you know of things that are on and up and coming things, and tidbits really, because I just don't have it in me to tell you what I'm doing all the time, and I'm sorry, but if you care, but but I'm just not that kind of person. So it will be very civilized, I hope. Anyway, thank you for watching me talk about myself, and I'll see you soon.